Welcome to the Rock and Review. I'm thrilled to have on a guy I've been trying to get on the show for a year or so now, but he's so busy making a brand new album, God and Country. It's Jimmy Fortune, 21 years with the Statler Brothers, and also an incredible solo career.
21 years went by like that. And the last 17 years, the people can't believe it when I say in my shows, the Statler Brothers retired 17 years ago.
Right.
And everybody kind of gasped, you know, like it's been that long. But it really is going by fast. But well, I've had a really good career, blessed career, and to be still out here creating new music and doing what I love to do. You know, this project I'm so proud of.
And great new music. Now, I'm going to embarrass you a little bit because, like, when you got started in music, you were playing square dances and stuff with your dad.
All the way back to when I was a little kid. My dad used to take me with him on Saturday nights to square dance parties and stuff like that. Give me an old guitar with a couple strings on it, and I'd play it until my fingers would bleed. I'd just sit back there all night, never put it down. And then Mama would make us go to church on Sunday and repent for being out playing that square dance music on Saturday night.
It's like the balance of life, you know? And I've always done the same thing. It's like, yeah, I'd play the casinos and bars during the week, and then you play church on Sunday. It's a balance.
Oh, yeah.
That's what and especially with this new album. Well, you know, and I told you this too, Jimmy. What a perfect time for God and Country with this album. And I love all the songs on this. It's tough for me to pick a favorite. I mean, the Old Rugged Cross. You've got so many on here that I know mean a lot to you.
Well, it is what it says. It's God and country, and you know, with the things that are going on in the world today, we need God in our country,
definitely,
more than ever. And so this was an emotional project, like I said, for me to do. I got caught up in the fact that my mama used to sing some of these songs to me when I was younger, and then going to church and singing these songs with my family. And then the patriotic side of it, you know, like God Bless America, America the Beautiful, the Battle Hymn of the Republic, and then the Battle of New Orleans, which we got a great cut on that, thanks to Ben Isaacs, like he produces, and his instincts are so great.
Well, and the band that you enlisted for this too, the musicians, are like the cream of the crop. I mean, you know a few people, also from having your own TV show back in the 90s, you probably were able to call in a few friends, right?
Yeah, we did. We had Statler Brothers had a show on TNN called An Evening with Statler Brothers.
Yeah, I remember it.
And it went on for 7 years. I believe it was 7 years. It was the #1 cable television show at that time, and it was a lot of fun to do because I got to meet pretty much all my heroes, everybody I wanted to meet in the music business, and even some actors and people that I always wanted to meet through all of that. But it was, again, it went by mighty fast. And then, of course, after it was over, about 1997, then the Statler Brothers started to kind of, push back a little bit to gear towards their retirement.
But you were just, you know, it was a perfect time for you to kick into your solo career.
Well, they gave me the best advice in the world. They called us in about January of 2002 and said, "This is Jimmy, this is going to be our last year." Wow. And I'm sitting there going, well, wait a minute here. Let's see, what am I going to do? And they asked me, they said, what are you going to do? And I said, you know, I'm going to continue on. I love to sing. I love to write. I love to play my guitars.
And sometimes buy a new one.
And buy a new one whenever I can, whenever my wife will let me.
Or if George Grurin finds you at the Opry.
But I love guitars. But you know, it's just been it's been a wonderful thing. And like I said, when I was scared to death when I first went on my own. I really was. Really? I knew it wasn't going to be an easy.
After all that success.
Yeah, but they gave me this. The advice that they gave me was really, really great because, you know, I was kind of scared. I told them about being scared going out on my own. And they said, Jimmy, just be yourself.
Right.
Don't try to be anybody else. Don't try to be the Statler Brothers. Don't try to be whoever else is out there. Just be you. They said, when you came through the door and you auditioned for us, we fell in love with Jimmy Fortune, and that's when you go out on stage and you do what you do, people are going to love you for it. You love them, they'll love you back.
Well, you know, and it's amazing to me too, and a lot of our viewers may not know this, Jimmy, but how many hit songs you wrote for and with the Statler Brothers, including Elizabeth.
Well, I go back to a lot of God things in my life. There's so many things that I look back and see my mama's prayers that led me to this point. These little things that happened. I never had written a song before. Before I was with the Statler Brothers, I was playing music 6 nights a week, 4 hours a night for years.
Right.
Had 2 daytime jobs to support my music habit.
It's like Nashville,
yeah,
right?
and then so when they hired me, I had a little time on my hands, and I said, guys, if I write a song, would you all record it? And of course, everybody knows Harold of the group. He said, well, yeah, we'll record it if it's good enough. And so I thought that was a pretty honest answer. So he, the next day, literally, I took him the song Elizabeth. Wow. And I felt like that was a God thing that, he allowed me to have that song because he knew that the Statlers kind of needed something right then to kind of help us, to boost everything, to kind of get into the future there. And he knew that I needed something.
But also, Jimmy, you were the infusion. They kind of needed somebody like you to come in and bring that new energy to the Statlers, and obviously award-winning band and everything else, but you kind of brought that new energy in.
Well, Lou DeWitt, who was the tenor singer for the Statler Brothers, who wrote Flowers on the Wall, and a lot of things that got it started for it. He heard me singing at a local ski resort up in Virginia, and we got together that night, and I loved him to death, and I always wanted to meet him, but we got to sing together that night, and we got to be friends, and I thought I'd never hear from him again, probably. And he suffered from Crohn's disease, so he was going to be out for about 6 months. This was like right after Christmas in 1981. And they asked him who he thought could fill in for him, and my name was the first name out of his mouth. So Lou kind of picked me out for the group, and I got him to thank for a lot of things that are going on today. Even though Lou, I never came in to take his place. I always came in to help them out, just make a place for myself. And Lou, he wound up passing away about 1990, and I always pay tribute to him in my shows because he was a great talent. He was a great writer. He was a great guitar player. He was a great singer, and he I don't think he got to complete all the things that he wanted to do.
Right.
But I owe him.
But I think also he saw the gift in you and the talent in you, and what a perfect fit.
Yeah.
And especially as it's launched into your solo career, which you've done so well with that, with your albums and your music and your multiple awards, Country Music Hall of Fame, Gospel Awards.
Well,
you probably just have a room just for those, right, next to the guitars?
I got a room. I actually don't have a room for everything. But yeah, I'd like to just thank God for what He's done, and I see all these things that I feel so blessed about. Here talking to you today. And, like I said, everything that's led me to this point.
Right.
And I just feel like the future's open, and it's like there for, what's going to happen next. I don't know what's going to happen next, but I know if it all stopped today, I have so much to be thankful for. And I can't say, I'm one of those people who, I don't like to stand still. I like to keep things going. I like to, and I think that's what God's given me. He's given me that gift to keep pushing on and to keep having a message out there in the music, the message of hope and of love towards one another.
Well, and it's so fresh, and with your tenor voice, too, it's just, your voice, I think, is stronger today than it was 20 years ago.
Yeah, in some ways it is. I feel like it is, too. Of course, we're all getting older, but sometimes getting older ain't a bad thing.
Exactly.
I needed to get older in some ways. Yeah.
As long as you can keep doing what you love and get out and play the music and tour. And this new album, as I mentioned, too, is just, there's just cut after great cut on here. Yeah. And I think, obviously it's going to explode on radio. And you're going to be touring it this year, too, right? Yeah,
we're starting our God and Country tour this week in Indiana and going to Missouri. So we'll be kicking it off. And then we're adding dates next year, and then the year after. We're just kind of, things are happening pretty fast. But,
well, now I got to ask you, too, because I know what a great songwriter you are, Jimmy. Are you still writing originals and everything for new music down the road? Oh, yeah. I'm always writing new songs. I write with new writers that are coming to town. I write with writers that are established writers that have been here for a while. And we just write. We don't write for the market, like to say, oh, I want to write this for so-and-so. We just get together and we just kind of say, well, I'm going to write what's on my heart today. I feel like writing a happy song, so let's just get there, find something happy. And then sometimes we feel like, because I'm a sucker for a love song, I can sit down and write love songs all day long. Like they just keep clicking. That keeps the women happy. You got to keep those fans happy.
And then I can write songs that make people cry all the time. I'm looking in the audience and people are just crying and the tears are coming down, and I'm like, well, I needed something happy right now. So what am I going? And so you're trying
to strike that balance again.
Yeah, but then people come up and thank me for doing that because, you know, I always say tears kind of heal the soul. Tears are meant for a reason.
Well, especially to me, Jimmy, you know, that you're able to touch your fans and listeners with your music that way. That's powerful.
Yeah, and I mean, sometimes I guess I never realized that, but I said everything that got me to this point, playing those clubs all those years.
Yeah.
Playing everything from bluegrass to gospel to country to disco.
Eagles.
I went through the Eagles, the Pocos.
Because you can hit the high notes.
Well, I think that's why I got jobs, because I could hit the high notes. It was
And play guitar.
And play guitar. And I played rhythm, mostly rhythm, and all the lead players loved the fact that they had a rhythm player, you know, because they could lean on that, because that helped my rhythm skills through the years, and I think that was my strong point, the fact that I could play and accompany myself.
Totally.
So I could go out and actually, when I first went out on my own, it was just me and the guitar.
Right.
And that was nice. But I like to keep musicians working. I love the musicians that are in this town, those young kids that are coming in, and I go and listen to some of them, you know.
Right.
And every now and then I get to take them on the road with me. I have a couple of great musicians on the road with me right now that I just love. These young kids that John Meyer is out playing banjo and guitar for me.
Oh, wow.
And Ryan Joseph plays fiddle and guitar and mandolin. And these kids are just, and I also have Mark Fain comes out and plays with me, plays bass sometimes. And I also use a guy that used to play with the Statler Brothers, Billy James. He plays with me. I pulled him out of retirement to get him on the road. And so I got a little taste of the Statler Brothers in there. But
it's so cool, though, because you're continuing on the tradition of what the Statler Brothers did for you at a young age. You know, and doing that with new musicians. But I want to make sure, you know, our viewers get your copy of God and Country. Well, with your website, where's the best place to follow you on tour and get an autographed copy?
JimmyFortune.com. You can get on there, and if you want an autographed copy, just tell my wife, Nina. She takes care of all that.
It's good to have somebody in your corner.
She comes in here holding all this stuff. Jimmy, here, you got to sign all that here. And so I'll sit there for a couple of days.
You got to pay for those guitars somehow, right?
Yes. Honey, if I sign all these, can I have another guitar?
Just one more. So, and you're on Instagram and Twitter and everywhere else. They can find you on social media, obviously on Facebook.
Right.
And I'll tell you what, it's a great album. And
Thank you.
I think the public, you guys are going to love seeing Jimmy on tour. And pick up a copy of this, download the singles. But, you know, personally, there's so many great songs.
There's going to be a live DVD of this, too.
Really?
There'll be a TV offer, but you can also get it on our website and on BillGaitherMusic.com. But the CD also has some of the, has God and Country, but it also has some of the classics album on there as well, so those songs. So.
It's just incredible. God and Country, Jimmy Fortune. Catch him on tour, get the album, and I think you're going to love every song on here. It's a great way of healing through music with the talented Jimmy Fortune. Thanks for watching The Rockin' Review.